So, for those that are on the live with me, which I think is Kirsty with John, might be wrong, Kirsty with John and Sherry, good evening. For anyone watching this back, could be good evening, might be good morning, could be good afternoon. Either way, thank you for committing to the next 10-round breathing session. And tonight, slightly different. I've got two true stories that I'm going to share with you. So it'll be split into two. First 5 rounds will be one story. Second 5 round will be the second story. And what we're going to do instead of, which we usually do, using the first round to do our retention breaths, we're actually going to do that as part of the grounding session. So I'm just going to get some music on and then we'll get going. So get comfortable. If you haven't already, please sit or lie down, preferably lie down. We'll start off with something nice and calm, which is not that. It's this one. So we're just going to take a moment to get comfortable, make a few final adjustments, maybe wiggle into that surface, whatever it is that's supporting you, just to make sure you feel comfortable. When you're ready, take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly close your eyes. Once you've finished that exhale and you've confirmed with yourself that, yep, this is my position, I feel comfortable, we're going to start by just taking a moment to identify where we can actually feel that support. So we're actually straight away concentrating on feeling rather than thoughts. So that feeling of support wherever your feet are resting, whether their soles down or heels down. Backs of your knees, of your calves if you're laying down, hamstrings, bum. Regardless if you're sitting or laying down, your hands will be rested somewhere and there'll be a connection, a feeling of that support. Whether it be the palms or the back of your hands. Your elbows will be rested somewhere, so will your back. Hopefully your neck and your head. What I'd like you to now do is take your 10 retention breaths now, please. Take your time. As I said tonight, I'm going to share two true stories, two wonderful people and their stories. Throughout tonight's session, once we get going, I'd like you to find a really nice, powerful rhythm. You can alternate pace if you choose to. What I would recommend is you just get or build up to a nice, strong, powerful pace. Even though you've done your retention breaths, there will still be even a period where you're bringing yourself up to speed. Find your pattern and just make sure each inhalation is really powerful all the way to the top of the breath, and then you let it go. I'm going to change the music. And I'm going to count you in. And we're going to go on a nice breathwork journey as usual. Three, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Off we go. Into your rhythm. Round 1. Rock bottom. I will introduce you to David. David grew up in violence, racism, and poverty, broken by life before he was even a teen. He was nearly 300 pounds, working a dead-end job, barely surviving. One day, in front of a mirror, he said to himself, "Has to end now." David had asthma, beastly overweight. He had every excuse, told himself he had no way out. He used food and TV to escape. Deep down, something in him was quietly waiting. And in that moment, in front of that mirror, he knew he had to make a change. On your next exhalation, stop breathing. Hold this breath like you're telling yourself, whatever you've got going on, that you know you need to tell yourself, this ends now. Hold this breath like it's your turn. No more hiding, no more waiting. Why can't this be when change begins? This is where change begins. Okay. Take a big breath in, all the way to the top, and hold. And release that breath. Going into round 2. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Off we go. Now you should be into a nice, powerful rhythm. Round 2, the decision. David knew change had to happen. 300 pounds, dead-end job, spraying cockroaches. David vowed to himself, "I will never be this man again." It had to start with that brutal truth. No more lies, no more excuses, just a mirror. So David chose to join the Navy SEALs. But to do so, he needed to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months. So that's what he did. Running with stress fractures, crying his eyes out during workouts due to the pain. He taught himself to swim, something that no one had ever done. Starved himself. Trained like a madman, welcoming the pain. Pain was his doorway. Discomfort. How can we know when we're comfortable if we've never felt uncomfortable? On your next exhalation, stop breathing. David told himself, "No more lies, no more hiding. I face my truth and I rise. I welcome the discomfort. I feel it. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to flinch. Pain is not the punishment, it's the path. David failed the entrance exams to the Navy SEALs twice. Broken bones, double pneumonia, collapsed lungs. But David went back again and again. On his third try, he made it through Hell Week with broken legs, tape in his shins and limping through drills. That's true will. True story. Wouldn't let failure hold you. Because failure is fear, not the final straw. Okay, take a big breath in. And hold. And release that breath. Round 3. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Mind game. David started calling it the cookie jar. Every time he pushed past the impossible, he stored that memory. When life got hard, he reached in and reminded himself, I've been through worse. And that's how he ended up running 100 miles in 24 hours with no proper training. He just wouldn't quit. His cookie jar was his wins, his scars, his grit. Collusing the mind is what he called it. Doing the things you hate to become the person you need. Cold showers, 4 a.m. runs, suffering on purpose. Every day he carved discipline into his bones. Not to impress anyone, just to master himself. Mentally thickening his skin. Teaching himself he's not made of glass. Grit. On your next exhalation, stop breathing. And it became his explosive truth. Truth being, no one coming to save you. This David, you may have already worked out, surname is Goggins. That's right, David Goggins. Seen him online. What a phenomenal man. And he tells you, your mates won't save you, your mum won't save you, your boss can't save you. You are your own rescue. It doesn't mean you're alone. It means you're accountable. Accountability, that's freedom. True freedom. Own this breath hold. You are your power. You are your savior. You can stay calm like this in the chaos, because that's who you really are. Okay, take a big breath in, hold, squeeze, pushing that energy, that oxygen up towards your head, let it meet in your brow, squeeze. And release that breath. Going into round 4. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Off we go. So you've seen Goggins, which is now referred to his work, stay hard. Not about never feeling tired. Not about never letting that tired ego voice be the one in charge at times. Using Goggins as an example, he ran through broken feet, hallucinations, 240-mile races, pulling a truck tire through snow. Because mental limits are lies. Mental limits are lies. Every step was a middle finger to that egotistical voice that said, stop. You're not good enough. You're not enough. On your next exhalation, stop breathing. You're going to hold this breath for the next 2 minutes and let this breath be your middle finger. With every doubt you've ever had, stay hard, stay focused, stay the course. Ten seconds left. Three, two, one. Take a massive breath in all the way to the top. Hold and squeeze. And release that breath. Round 5. The message will come in you. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Now, what I like about David Goggins is his message. He says he isn't special. I disagree with that because everybody is special. But his point is, he's just honest enough to share that anyone can choose to do what he did. Anyone can be honest enough to do the work every day, especially when no one's watching. That's what he did. And now he shares that message to the world. No guru, no gimmicks, just brutal accountability. Be uncommon amongst uncommon men. Be uncommon amongst uncommon women. David Goggins became Goggins, which is now renownedly known as, not by luck, by choice. Every day he chose to go again. He chose him. He chose to suffer. He chose to grow. He chose to become. So can you. Don't need perfect. Don't need easy. You need a reason and a rhythm, just like your breath. Here, breath by breath, you find that. On your next exhalation, stop breathing. Breathe into your truth. Breathe into your scars, your power. No more waiting. You've already begun. Okay, take a big breath in. Hold, squeeze. And release that breath. Second half of tonight's journey. This story is called Finding Her Voice. The story about Damien Harvey. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Dr. God. Zainab grew up in a strict household. She was the good girl, quiet, obedient. Didn't speak unless spoken to. She ticked the boxes. Good grades. Respectful daughter. Head down. But inside, chaos. Grief. Confusion. Identity loss. Her beloved brother had passed away when she was just 14 years old. And no one in the family ever talked about it. Silence. Things carried but never said. And that grief rose in quiet corners. It's heavy. Okay, listen up to the next instruction. On your next inhalation, stop breathing. Take a controlled breath in, hold, slow your heart down. 3, 2, 1. Release about half of the breath and hold. Feel that silence, your silence. The things that you carry but don't say. The grief that grows in you in quiet corners. Zainab wore the mask for years, smiling in public, pain in private. She did what was expected, but was never hurt. Not really. Behind closed doors, she was anxious, depressed, constantly questioning her worth. She had to be everything for everyone, yet nothing for herself. In this breath hold, feel the weight of your mask. Just like me, you have at least one. It's heavy, isn't it? But in these sessions, in these moments, you're allowed to take it off. You don't need to perform. Ten seconds left. If you're holding any oxygen still, start blowing it all out now. Get rid of it. Dump it, keep dumping it, blow all out. And now take a massive breath in, all the way up to the top of your brain, and hold and squeeze. And release. Round 7. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Back to Zainab. In her 20s, Zainab hit a wall. Panic attacks, sleepless nights, and she lost the recognition of herself. Her soul was screaming. She realized she'd lived her life on someone else's terms. That's when it hit her. If I don't start choosing me, I'll lose me completely. Her first no was terrifying. She turned down a family-approved job, an arranged marriage proposal. She'd always been taught that saying no meant selfishness. She started to realize no is sacred. It's not rejection, it's protection, it's redirection. She realized that that first no made space for her first yes to herself. On your next inhalation, stop breathing. Nice controlled breath in, hold, concentrate on calming, slowing your heart down, sped up. Release half of that breath and hold. This breath is your choice. Feel your body because it's yours. You don't need permission to honor your truth. Holding this breath like it's your first boundary, solid, sacred. You don't owe your peace to anyone. Not your kids, not your other halves, not your bosses, not your friends, not your siblings. It is yours to protect. And that is what you're teaching the people that you love. To let go, expectations, comparisons, gauges, other people's opinions, other people's feelings. Okay, 10 seconds left. Start dumping oxygen if you're still holding it. Blow it all out to the point where you have nothing left. And now take a massive breath in all the way up to the top of your head. Let that cold oxygen hit your brain and squeeze. And release. Fantastic. Going into round 8. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. It's the rebuild. That's what Zainab did. He began to rebuild. Slowly, step by step. Validating every step she took. Found a therapist. She started journaling. Most importantly, she sat with her grief, which shed light on her culture, her childhood. And for the first time, she stopped running. She didn't need to be fixed. She needed to be heard. And she started to listen to herself. Told her story publicly at a community event. Her voice shook, her hands trembled, but she spoke. About her brother, about her pain, about being invisible in her own life. When she finished, people stood and cried. Because she's not the only one who'd felt that way. Just the first to speak it out loud. On your next inhalation, stop breathing. Calm down. And release half of that breath. Hold. And this breath hold is your healing space. It's okay to feel, it's okay to cry. Rebuild begins right here. Stillness and truth. Let your breath hold be confession. Never about perfection, just honesty. Letting your soul speak and speaking with your soul. Been waiting. Ten seconds left. If you're holding oxygen, start dumping it now. Get rid of all of it. Blow it all out. 5 seconds. And now, take a massive breath in all the way to the top of your brain. Hold and squeeze. And release that breath. Going into round 9. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. After that night, everything changed for Zainab. She started coaching women in her community, Muslim women. Women that thought they weren't good enough, they didn't have a voice. Immigrant daughters, island warriors. She told them, you don't have to shrink to belong. He reminded them, They could love their families and love themselves. Her truth gave them permission to find their own. Zainab decided to go back home. He went back home. Not to obey, to be. Didn't argue, didn't rebel, he just arrived as a full self, best self. And for the first time, her mum listened. Not all bridges need to burn. Some just need new foundations. She returned not to fit in. She returned to stand tall. On your next inhalation, stop breathing. Pull that breath all the way in, controlled. Slow down your heart. Relax. And now release about half that breath and hold. And as you hold, feel your story echo. When you choose to heal for you, you're lighting the way for others. The ripple effect. You're the ripple. And this breath is your return to your roots. How do you feel now? Rooted in yourself, in this moment. You feel worthy. Of course you do. It's your truth. You're not needing to fight. Right now, you're just being. 10 seconds left. If you're holding any oxygen still, start blowing it all out now. All the way out. 3, 2, 1. Now take it all the way back in again, right up to the top of your head. Hold and squeeze. That was 3 minutes. And release. This is it. Last round. Round 10. The joy. For you. 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe. Zainab started to laugh again. Real, belly deep, soul fed laughter. Not false smiles, true joy. Not because life was perfect, because she was no longer pretending. Self-love doesn't happen in a spa or a beauty treatment. Self-love is saying, I've got me, and truly mean it. Zainab is a credible woman. Her story could be anyone, and that's the point. Whether you're a daughter, a dad, a dreamer, a fighter, the journey back to you is always the most important. It's always worth it, because you are. Your voice does matter. Your breath matters. Your life matters. Think it. Live it. Love it. On your next inhalation, stop breathing. Calm down. Just relax. Grit and grace. They told him he'd break, but he'd never survive. David Goggins got up and he came back to life. He ran through fire with pain in his stride, turned fear into fuel, swallowed his pride. Zainab lived in silence, with no space to cry. She wore a smile, but her soul always asked why. She walked through the ache, found truth in her tears, and turned her old nose into loud, loving cheers. David chose to suffer, to sharpen his steel, to show the whole world what it means to truly feel real. Zainab chose to soften, to break and rebuild, to be her own voice in a world that stayed still. From wounds, from walls, both chose their climb. One battled the body, and one mastered the mind. Two lives, same message. No matter the place, you will find your true power in your grit and your grace. Three minutes. 320. 340. 350. 4 minutes. Thank you for joining me this evening. Or if this is a recording, could be this morning, this afternoon. Either way, you find your true power in your grit and your grace.